Hello guys, welcome back to Engineering Robotics. In this video, we are putting two closed loop stepper motor head to head, ADRC versus classic PID. Before we get into the wiring diagram and real world hardware test, we need to understand that these two control systems handle motion in completely different way. Let's start with how the PID system works. When you command the motor to move, say 90 degree, the controller generates a standard trapezoidal motion profile. Because a stepper is essentially a brushless motor, we have to enforce strict acceleration and deceleration limit, so the magnetic field does not outpace the motor. The PID controller's job is simply to follow this trapezoidal path, but what happens if you grab the motor or an external force interrupts it? If the PID loop is tuned too aggressively to fight back, the motor will stall and skip steps. To prevent this, our PID setup is smarter. If it gets knocked off course, it does not jam the power to 100. Instead, the controller recognizes the error and generate a new trapezoidal motion profile, starting exactly from the error point. This allows the motor to smoothly recover and finish its journey to the set point. Now over on the ADRC system, we can't use the standard trapezoidal profile. Here is why. ADRC you want to reach the specific speed you requested as accurately as possible. If we try to use a basic acceleration ramp, the ramp is artificially holding the motor's speed back. The ADRC's internal observer will actually look at this ramp up phase and think this is an error. It tries to pump more power into the motor to force it to speed up, but the motion profile keeps limiting it. The two systems end up fighting each other, making the motor run poorly. Rather than doing that, our ADRC script using a Tracking Differentiator or TD, now visually it creates what most of us in hobby just call it as smooth S-curve. But if we want to be strictly mathematically accurate, it is accurately generating a critically damped second order reference trajectory. Like a standard S-curve, the TD acts as a dynamic mathematical filter. It naturally and continuously guides the motor to its target without any harsh angles and guarantees no overshoot. Because this curve is mathematically natural, the ADRC can track it perfectly without getting confused, giving us incredibly smooth. This is the wiring. If the motor is continuously rotating rather than holding position, you need to swap these two pins. The wiring is same as old stepper motor, sensor on the back, ESP32 and TMC 2226. For testing, I am using this tiny lightweight 0.3 to 4mm drill chuck. I'm running a quick calibration on the ADRC system. First is the speed limit. This is the Tracking Differentiator speed factor. Think of this as an S-curve speed limit. If you set this high, the motor will be punchy and aggressive. If you set this low, the mathematical trajectory stretches out, resulting in a smooth motion. It dictates how fast the motor is allowed to reach the target. Next is controller bandwidth. In simple terms, this is the motor's stiffness. It tells the controller how aggressive it should fight to stay on the exact path, which is created by the tracking differentiator. A low controller bandwidth makes the motor feel soft and spongy. A high control bandwidth will lock it in tightly, but if you increase it too high, the motor will vibrate. Then we have observer's bandwidth. The observer bandwidth, it controls extended state observer, which is constantly scanning for external disturbances like friction, load changes, or someone's physical grabbing the motor. A high observer bandwidth will give the system lightning fast reflexes to push back against interferences, but be careful. If you set it too high, it will start to react to microscopic noises from the magnetic encoder making the motor twitchy. Finally, system gain. This is the translator. It bridges the gap between the controller's pure mathematical and physical hardware. It essentially tells the algorithm how much actual physical kick the motor generates when a certain amount of power is applied. For our velocity tracking setup, keep this near 1. Now for the real test, without changing any tuning parameter, I swapped the lightweight chuck for this massive 1.5 to 10mm steel chuck. The rotation inertia here is huge. Let's run the sequence 0 to 90 degree and back, 180 degree and back, and a full 360 degree sweep. The ADRC handles the extra weight flawlessly. Next, we switch the firmware over to our PID controller. To keep the test completely fair, I'm putting the small chuck back and doing a fresh calibration. We are looking at the PID dashboard. If you ever tuned a drone, you may know these 3 letters. First is KP, the proportional gain. Think of this as a motor's raw muscle. It looks at how far away the motor is from the target and applies speed proportionally. If you are 90 degree away, it pushes hard. As you get closer, it naturally slows down. Next is KI, the integral term. This is the persistence, sometimes due to physical friction or weight of the heavy chuck. The KP muscle alone isn't quite enough to push the motor that final 1 or 2 degree to perfectly reach the target. KI looks at that tiny remaining error and slowly builds up power over time until the motor finally overcomes the friction. Finally, we have the KD, the derivative term. This acts as a shock absorber or a brake. KD actually looks into the future by calculating how far the error is shrinking. If it sees the motor flying towards the target too quickly, it applies negative pressure to dampen the movement and prevent overshoot. It smooths out aggressive snap of KP. Here we go. The heavy chuck is back on. In a textbook scenario, a standard PID controller should completely fail right here. The massive inertia should cause it to overshoot, ring, or just stall out and skip steps. It is holding its ground. It's actually keeping up with the ADRC. But why? It survived because I gave the PID an unfair advantage. This isn't a standard PID script. I had to build a custom stall catch logic used in FOC controllers. When the heavy chuck causes the motor to skip, the code actively catches the magnetic phase and dynamically draws a brand new trapezoidal curve on the fly to save itself. So if my custom PID can survive this test, why did I bother building an ADRC? 2 reasons: simplicity and true robustness. To make the PID survive, I had to make reactionary slip detection code, and it is inherently reacting to the failure. ADRC, on the other hand, is mathematically superior. Out of the box, its calibration is incredibly simple, and instead of reacting to a slip, it observes, anticipates, and compensates for the load before the failure even happens. ADRC is still clear winner for next generation stepper control. But what happened if we remove this stall catch logic? This PID doesn't have stall catch logic, but it does have dynamic trapezoidal generation. As you can see here, the PID is having hard time going back to the set point. But if you increase the milliamp, which will give more current to the motor and increases the torque, the PID is able to hold on to that, and you can see the motor is working normally good. Thank you for watching. Consider to subscribe and give a like. I'll see you in the next video.